everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to do another subscriber requested video. So I was recently asked to talk about really popular fragrances that I don't like. There are so many out there, so this is not gonna be hard for me to do. But yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. So of course this is just my opinion. I definitely don't mean any kind of offense to anybody. Definitely don't want anybody to get offended. If one of these is your favorite perfumes, you know, this is just my opinion, how they worked for me, or just, you know, my personal preferences. And a lot of them, even though they're not necessarily for me, and I don't care for them, I do still think a lot of them are really nice perfumes. They're just not for me. So anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna jump right in. So one of the first ones right out of the gate is Versace Bright Crystal. So I had a mini of Bright Crystal 10, maybe like 8 years ago or something, and I went through about half of it and I eventually ended up just tossing it because I just didn't love it. It is a really pretty, bright, fresh, kind of light citrusy floral if I remember correctly, but it just wasn't for me. I just found it really boring. I think with Bright Crystal though, it's one of those fragrances that you've got the right skin chemistry for it. It's like magic on you. And I think that's why it's so popular, because I think it's just like magic on some people. I wasn't one of those people, and because of that I just never fell in love with it, and it just ended up smelling kind of generic on me. But yeah, that goes for pretty much all of the Bright Crystal line. The one in the yellow bottle, I didn't care for that one. Somebody told me to try the Bright Crystal Absolute. I did try that one. I didn't like it. In fact, that one I felt like I disliked even more, because there was something really strange about that one in the base. So yeah, just the whole Bright Crystal line in general. And it's still quite popular. Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about it for a while, but it is still very popular and like a bestseller. Like, it's still selling a ton. Okay, another one that is, again, it still sells a lot, or it's still kind of like a best-selling fragrance, even though it's not talked about quite as much anymore, is Jimmy Choo. That's another one. I've got a pen spray of it. I've had that same pen spray for, again, probably 8 or 9 years at this point. I'm maybe a quarter of the way through it. It was one of those things that I used to try to wear it, but I just can't, because I just don't enjoy it. I have found that I'm just not a lover of fruit julies in general. I'm not crazy about them. I do think it's a really, really nice perfume for the price point. I think it's actually amazing for the price point. And it's another one of those fragrances that I think it's just like magic on some people. And because of that, it smells incredible on them. Again, I wasn't one of those people, so yeah. Next is Vie Est Belle, and every single flanker I've ever smelled. So, Vie Est Belle, if I remember correctly, Vie Est Belle is the best-selling perfume of all time. Like, I think that it has sold more bottles than any other perfume on the planet, even like Chanel, which is crazy to me. Again, I see why. I feel like that one isn't necessarily super magic on anybody. I don't know, because it's just such a distinct smell. And I think that that's part of it. I've just smelled it too many times, and at this point, so many fragrances have been made to smell like it that I'm just over the scent profile completely. I do, again, think it's a beautiful perfume. It's just not, and you would think I would love it because it's sweet, and I love a sweet fragrance. But again, it's too patchouli heavy for me. It's, again, that kind of fruit chouli, almost kind of scent profile that I just don't love. Next is another Versace fragrance, and that is Versace Dylan Blue. I've had so many people recommend that fragrance to me, and I get it. I've only smelled it a couple times. It's been quite a while. I do remember it's got like a green apple note in it. It is quite fresh and nice, but I remember just not loving it at all. I did try it on my skin one time, and I don't know, there was something about it that I just didn't love. There's like a particular note in it. Let me see if I can figure out what the note is. Peach. It's got peach in it. Okay, I knew it had something in it, and it was that one note that was making me dislike it. It's the peach. I'm not a fan of peach in fragrance at all, unless it's a very, very mild and fresh peach. If it's a syrupy, sweet, dominant peach, then I'm just not gonna enjoy it. And I don't feel like the peach was super, super dominant in Dylan Blue, but it was dominant enough that it made me not like it. So yeah, I really want to try or get my nose on the turquoise one, but because I don't like Dylan Blue, I haven't like tried super hard to seek that one out, but I do want to smell that one just because it's different and I might actually enjoy that one. I promise, I'm not trying to like completely bag on Versace here, but Versace Eros Pour Femme, I'm not a huge fan of that one either. There's something, it's really, really sweet, which I usually tend to really like. I do have a mini of Eros Pour Femme. I have tried it on my skin a few times. It just to me smells like a super generic, like sweet fragrance. It's very like bland smelling to me. For me, I don't get anything from it. There aren't any like dominant notes to my nose. It's just this kind of generic smelling sweetness. And so for that reason, I don't love Eros Pour Femme either. Another really popular perfume that I don't enjoy is Viktor Rolf Flowerbomb. Again, it's the fruit patchouli thing. I'm not crazy about that patchouli, that kind of floral, fruity patchouli kind of fragrance, that scent profile. And Flowerbomb smells, to me, it smells quite a lot like Vie Est Belle. It's just not quite as sweet as Vie Est Belle. So it's that same kind of scent though, which I just don't love. Another fragrance I really, really dislike is Carolina Herrera Good Girl and all of the flankers. So I bought two, I don't know what I was thinking. I bought Good Girl Supreme and Very Good Girl thinking that I would like them. Very Good Girl I had really high hopes for because it was supposed to be kind of like a fresher rose. And it ended up being very much like a cleaning product on me. Very sharp, very synthetic, just not nice on me at all. And Very Good Girl, or Good Girl Supreme, ended up smelling just like Good Girl in the dry down. So I'm just not a fan. For me, that fragrance is a hot mess. It's all of the notes in it look beautiful to me. They're all notes that I love. Spices and vanilla and tonka and warm, like beautiful florals, jasmine, and like all these beautiful notes. But for me, the perfume itself is just like a cacophony of notes that are blended in such a way they're not meshing together at all. And it's a mess. For me, it's like a bungled mess, and I have never enjoyed Good Girl at all. I do love the bottle. I am one of the people that absolutely adores the bottle, but I just can't with the actual fragrance inside. Another perfume that it's not talked about a lot anymore, but it used to be, is Dolce Gabbana The One. So that was one that I fell for the hype with that one. I purchased it, when it was getting really hyped up, and I was so disappointed because it's another one that, again, the peach got me. It's got a peach note in it. To me, the peach was incredibly prominent, and it made it a little bit, I don't know, a little bit sickly, syrupy, sweet. Yeah, I just did not love it. Another couple of fragrances that I don't love are, and I'll talk about these at the same time because they smell very, very similar, is Narciso Rodriguez in the black bottle. In fact, Narciso Rodriguez fragrances in general, I just don't care for. All but Pure Musk. I do love Pure Musk. I think it's beautiful, but I think I might be a little bit anosmic to Pure Musk. I can smell it for about 5 minutes, and then after that I can't smell it anymore. But yeah, I especially really don't like the Narciso Rodriguez in the black bottle, the Eau de Toilette formulation. On me, it goes super musky, mature, floral, and I don't love it. And in that same vein, I don't love Sarah Jessica Parker Lovely either. They smell very, very similar. In fact, if I did love Narciso Rodriguez, the Eau de Toilette, I would just buy Lovely because it's way cheaper and it smells really, really similar. A lot of people say, no, it doesn't. I like Lovely a lot better, or no, it doesn't. Lovely smells cheap and Narciso is so much better. And like, you know, there's kind of petty arguments about them, but if you really, I mean, if you just smell them and leave opinions out of it, they smell very, very similar. So a couple more recent releases that I just was not impressed by at all is number one, Armani My Way. Tuberose has been done like so much that I feel like we're not gonna need another Tuberose fragrance on the market for a while. There are so many Tuberose fragrances out there. So I was just disappointed. I think it's a lovely perfume in the quality of it, in how it smells. I do believe it's beautiful that way, but I was just super disappointed that they released another Tuberose perfume. And then the other one that I was pretty disappointed with was Marc Jacobs Perfect. So the bottle is adorable. I love the bottle, but again, the fragrance inside was just not great. It's, you know, kind of a fruity, light fruity scent with a rhubarb note, which gives it a little bit of interest, but for the most part, I just thought it was incredibly boring. It smells fine, it smells pleasant. I have the Dossier dupe of it, which I really enjoy, but I would not pay full price for a bottle of Marc Jacobs Perfect because to me it is just incredibly boring. So this is another like whole line of fragrances, which they don't get hyped up as much anymore, but they are still talked about, is the Rihanna Reb'l line. Reb'l Fleur, I think just the plain old Reb'l, the one in the black, nude, and red bottles. Those are fragrances that I have not liked a single one of them. They get pretty, they were getting pretty hyped up. I just felt like they smelled really, really inexpensive. That is going to be an unpopular opinion, I know, because a lot of people love those fragrances and think they're really beautiful. I remember seeing someone say that the one in the red bottle was like a coffee fragrance, and then I remember buying it and having expectations of smelling coffee, and I didn't smell coffee at all. It was another one of those fragrances where it just smelled kind of generic and inexpensive, and it was like it was trying to smell, I don't know, like it was trying to smell like kind of a deeper, interesting fragrance, but it just kind of missed the mark. So yeah, I'm not a fan of any of those Rihanna perfumes. I do want to try the Kiss line though. I've heard that that line is really, really nice. Another line of perfumes, and I'm not trying to bag on Armani, but the entire Armani Si line. It's funny because I've never cared for Armani Si. I had smelled all of them. I had smelled Armani Si, I had smelled Si Passione. I do have a mini of that one. I had smelled I think it's the Old Intense that was in the black bottle. The only one I had not smelled was Si Fiori because I figured I didn't like any of the other ones. I wouldn't like that one either. Well, when I heard it was being discontinued, I ordered a travel spray and I immediately fell in love with it. And I was like, of course, it figures. The only one I'd never gotten my nose on, like, I fall in love with after I find out it's been discontinued. Thankfully, I was able to find a bottle secondhand, and now I feel complete. But I recently also ordered a pen spray of the new Si Intense, and again, it's okay. It performs really well, but again, it kind of smells like a more intense version of Si. And because of that, I'm just not in love with it. But yeah, that's a whole line of fragrances those really do still get hyped up. Another line of fragrances that I really don't enjoy, mostly this is a really personal thing, it's just because they just don't work very well on me or my skin, is the Paco Rabanne Olympia line. So they're beautiful, kind of salty caramel fragrances. Really, really nice, but they just don't work very well on me. Sometimes salt doesn't work for me at all, and the salt in those fragrances is just really, really bad on me. So yeah, that is a line of fragrance that is super, super popular. People really, really love them, but unfortunately, I don't. Another really popular fragrance that I don't care for is Lancome Idole. I remember when it was first released, everybody was talking about it, everybody loved it, and I thought I loved it too when I first tested it just out of a carded sample, and I picked up a bottle of it, like the small bottle of it, and after the next couple of wears, I realized very quickly that it goes very like harsh, synthetic, almost cleaning product on me. So yeah, and that goes with Lancome fragrances in general. I'm just not the biggest fan of Lancome fragrances. Another really, really hyped up line is the La Nuit line, La Nuit Trésor, La Nuit à la Folie. I'm just not a fan at all. I had both of them because I fell into the hype. I felt like I had to love them. And that's before I got like really confident in what I like and what I don't. And understanding that being a fragrance YouTuber doesn't mean that I have to like and hype up the same things that everybody else is. So yeah, that was back when I felt like I needed to toe the line, you know. But now I'm very confident and comfortable saying that I just don't like them, and I don't really like many Lancome fragrances in general. I find many of them to be very synthetic smelling. This is like the mother of all hyped up perfumes, and it's not that I don't like the perfume, I'm so over it because this thing got hyped to the moon like crazy, and then so many clones came after it and are still coming, and every house out there is now making a fragrance that smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. And for me, that is like the mother of all hyped fragrances, and I am so over that scent profile at this point that I don't want to smell it again. Like, I'm over it. Give me like 10 years and then I may revisit and like it again, but it's just, it got hyped up way too much, and I've smelled too many fragrances at this point that like jumped on the bandwagon. And so yeah, Baccarat Rouge 540 is just not something I want to put my nose on again. Another perfume, this is a really, really recent one. I just resold my bottle because I just felt like it wasn't very good at all. Billie Eilish. I tried so hard with that perfume. I wanted so badly to love it because it was a vanilla perfume, and like a vanilla amber perfume, and like everything that I love in fragrance, I couldn't do it. There was something about the red berries in the top, and the way that the perfume, like that the whole fragrance is composed, it's a hot mess. And I think it's working for some people because it really works with their skin chemistry and smells like amazing on them. It didn't smell amazing on me, and I think the whole perfume is a hot mess. So yeah, that's a rather new one that, again, I fell for the hype. I bought it even though I had a beautiful subscriber that I've been, like, we've sent decants back and forth and we talk, you know, regularly. She emailed me and she even told me it is not that great. She went out and bought it and she told me it's not worth it. Like, it's not very good. And she was super, super nice about it, and I still went and bought it like a dummy. And yeah, it's just not for me. Another really popular perfume that a lot of people really love is Valentino Donna Born in Roma. That perfume, it's a really nice fragrance, but that perfume has that metallic musk in the base that is so screechy and yucky on me. So yeah, that was another one that I just did not care for at all. Another really popular perfume that gets talked about a lot is Burberry Her. That's another one. I fell for the hype. I bought a bottle. It smells like Baccarat Rouge 540, or it's got that scent profile, and I was immediately disappointed. So yeah, it's a nice perfume, but for that reason, I had to pass it along. I do, however, want to try the new Eau de Toilette. It's got a green liquid, so it makes me think like fresh, you know, spring kind of fragrance. So I really do want to get my nose on the Eau de Toilette. Another really, really popular perfume that I really don't like very much at all is Chanel Coco Mademoiselle. Again, it's got to do with the patchouli in it. And don't get me wrong, I love patchouli, but I just don't love it in that way. I don't love it mixed with fruits, or I don't know. And not that Coco Mademoiselle is a fruity patchouli at all. It's not. It's a floral patchouli. There's just something about it that I just don't love. It also goes kind of mature on me, so I don't know. It's just not, I don't feel good wearing it, I guess is what it boils down to. Another one that I do think it's pretty, but it wasn't for me, is YSL Mon Puri. So I do have the dossier dupe of it, and I do enjoy wearing it every once in a while, but it's another one that it's just not like fantastic on me. I feel like that's another one that like it just works magic on some people's skin and just smells incredible on them. It's just not great on me. I do like it though. I do think it's a really, really beautiful perfume, but I've never ever talked about that fragrance on this channel before because I don't own it, and I never will. Like I said, I do have the dossier dupe, but yeah, I wouldn't pick up a full bottle of the real thing. Another perfume that it's super popular, it's been around forever and it is still really, really popular. A lot of people still wear it, is Clinique Happy. That is a perfume that I don't think I've ever worn that fragrance ever in my life. I had a friend in high school that when that perfume was first released, she bought it and it was strong back then. Clinique Happy was super, super loud, very, very strong, and she would spray on a ton of it. And because of that, I have just never gravitated towards it ever. Another fragrance that is super, super popular that I don't love is Viktor Rolf Bon Bon. That's another one that it's just not great on me. It doesn't like warm on my skin well the way that I know it does on others. I do like how it smells. I love the kind of sweet caramely aspect of it. It's my favorite kind of fragrance actually, but I don't know. I think there are other fragrances out there like it that are way, way better. I just don't love it for some reason. I do have a mini of it. I did have a full bottle at one point, but I went ahead and passed it along because I just knew I wasn't gonna reach for it a ton. Another really popular fragrance that I was so incredibly disappointed with was Valentino Voce Viva, or whatever that one was. I just felt like it was so incredibly generic. I know that there are a lot of people out there that really love it, that it smells amazing on them. I have never even tested it because I smelled it, like I smelled a sample of it and I was so incredibly disappointed by it. I'm so sick of designers like churning out generic smelling perfumes like that. I don't know. Like, I don't even want to give it my time at that point because it's just, you know, if I have to see like jasmine and orange blossom and some kind of musk done again, like I will cry because it's so overdone and so generic smelling at this point. Another popular perfume, this one is so classic, I hate to even say it, but Chanel No. 5. I just don't enjoy that perfume. I never have. I'm just not a huge fan of aldehydes at all, and because of that, I just don't love it. I've never really gravitated towards Chanel No. 5. It's not for me. I know a lot of people love it. They're way more woman than I am for being able to enjoy it and wear it, but it's just not for me. The last one I'm gonna talk about, because I could sit here and go on for hours about popular perfumes that I don't like. So I'm gonna end it with this one. Angel Nova from Mugler, the new, I think it was released last year or maybe like 6 months ago. I don't even remember. That one literally made me want to gag. Like I didn't even spray it on my skin. Thank goodness. I just sprayed it on a tester strip and smelled it, and it legitimately made me want to gag. There was something about it that was just not, I don't know, it just was not, my nose just did not appreciate it at all. It was, I almost can't remember because I never smelled it again after that. I do have a sample of it, I think. But I want to say it was like fruity, but it had that kind of metallic, I want to say it had some kind of like a metallic like aspect to it, and yeah, it was just not good. I did not enjoy it at all. So anyways, guys, yeah, I could sit here and go on forever. Let me know if you want me to do the opposite of this. If you want me to talk about really popular fragrances that are super overhyped that I love. I think that that would be super fun to do, and I think I would not have as many mad people at me for doing that one as I probably will for doing this one. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But anyways, you guys, I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.